Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Thursday Talk series on wisdom in action. So today's talk is titled Waves of Goodness, Harnessing the Power of Positive Action. And before we get on to today's topic, just wanted to welcome everybody that is on Zoom as well as on Facebook Live and YouTube. We are so glad you could join us, and all the people that are actually live at the center. We are so glad you're coming out to be a part of this program. We do have additional programs available. So if you go to our website at manhattanmeditationcenter.org, you can actually get all of the classes and workshops that we offer. And we do have a workshop as well as our Raj Yoga's classes coming up soon. So please visit our website so that you can sign up for the latest and the greatest. And today's talk is going to be by Inez Frank. So she will be leading us on this journey on how to harness the power of positive actions and how to unlock this great potential. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Inez.
Oh, I forgot. Today's so very warm welcome to everyone, and good evening, and Om Shanti. We have a nice bouquet here at the center. We have some who are here, for the first time, right? You too. Welcome, special welcome. So we want to, do we need to talk about how to do good?
How to be good?
How to do good, or why we have to perform good
I
actions?
think for trying to be good, then
Can you use the microphone?
I just press the button.
Yeah. and then the green light.
Okay. So yeah, if we are good and we acknowledge that we are good at the core of our being and who we truly are, then we can simply allow ourselves to be the expression of that. However, I think if we're trying to be good, it's because we don't believe that we're good and we're not allowing ourselves to be the expression of who we truly are.
That is very well said. And you're just pointing out actually where I want to go tonight. Before we dive into this whole aspect of goodness, the thought just flew away. So let us explore that whole aspect. Oh yeah, here there was the question. It might be so good to add, because what does it mean? When we speak about values, human values, but there are many different cultures. One value that has a certain meaning in a certain culture may have very different value or recognition in another culture. So many live in the US, and then there are other countries where English is spoken. So same language, right? Still so much miscommunication, misunderstandings. So it might be actually good to take a look also at what do we mean when we use the word good, to do good, to be good. On the one hand, I think we all associate with doing good, doing something at the physical level, giving something, providing something that is of value, that is of need for someone, right? But then how much? Now, the other question is why different people value different things. What does it mean to make someone happy? Do we just fulfill the desires? Should I do what makes you happy, even though maybe I'm supporting an addiction? You understand what I'm trying to say? Is a little bit tricky, especially nowadays, because everything is not so clean anymore. What is your name? Joe. Yeah. Joe spoke about an inner goodness, right?
I think what's helped me a lot is looking at the difference between what we call good, and what is altruistic, meaning what sincerely contributes to the overall flow of oneness. And I think what that is sustainability. That's what I have come to sort of wrap my head around, sustainability. Because when you are working from a place of contributing to what's sustainable, you're not doing something to make somebody happy per se. The act of doing to make others happy can be very convoluted. Like you said, you may be contributing to somebody's demise because they feel that it's making them happy, and they tell you that's what makes me happy. And they seem to be happier when they are getting their fix or whatever the objective may be. However, you're not contributing to them in an altruistic way, which is a contribution to their soul.
Right. For me, mainly what I've also have learned here on the spiritual journey, or learning on the spiritual journey, where we go a little bit deeper than just the surface and the visible and the very tangible, and even going beyond differences and looking at, if we want to use the word values, we can also use the word virtue, looking at qualities that are true to everyone and valuable, even necessary for everyone. Everyone wants and has the right to experience peace, for example, right? The same is with love. Everyone has the right to be respected, to be valued, and actually also to be provided with all the necessary resources. But it's not necessarily happening at the physical level. We also very used to expect, to want. We always need something. And then we start to compare. We venture out into the external, and then there's an overload of variety, of differences. And then some have certain likes, others have different likes, preferences, their prejudices. It's a lot of variety, lot of differences, and not everyone likes the same thing, same color, no? And everyone is very much opinionated. So to find, to do good, when we look at the more superficial level, the visible level, what is more familiar to us, it might not be so easy to actually do truly good. And then I'm also wondering, to do good, what is the good in the doing? Is an action, is something that I do, right? I may provide clothing, for example. I help someone who is in physical need cross over the street safely. So we give support, we provide things that help us at the physical level. We do good. These are the most common. And the more, like you were saying, the more selfless that giving, that doing is, the bigger value, of course, it is for the one who does. How can we improve the value, the worth, not necessarily the value, but the worth, maybe even the value of what we do? By providing bigger, more expensive, providing at the appropriate time? How can we improve, upgrade, give more value, worth to what we do? So One is, you see that word human being is very meaningful, actually, that English term human being. And when we think about the human aspect is all about doing, isn't it? And we also, of course, the body and everything that goes with the body and the extension, relationships, what we acquire, what we possess, what we own, what we want, all of that is part of bodily aspects, the human aspect. But what is that being part? The human being, we say, we are human beings. But what is the being, the aspect of the being? Who is the being? Did you ever ask yourself that?
When I've contemplated that, I've seen that being is simply, as I briefly touched on earlier, being who you are altruistically at the core of who we all truly are.
Right, right. So we refer to the being part as spiritual being, the soul, right? It's not very tangible, may even sound a little bit abstract. But there must be an aspect to us humans that goes beyond the doing, that where the value, the worth of what we do is filled in with. Because what is it that I want? If you buy a gift for someone, birthday gift or any celebration, you give a gift, are you including your feelings when you think about of what to choose, what to buy, what to get for, or what to make for that person? What could bring joy to that person? What could be of use for that being? Are you including your feelings? Do you think it's important to include your feelings? So I think that's where we approximate the being part of us, the part that is able to feel but not necessarily just to feel. I also have to think, right? But I can make choices and do without, I can feel, for example, upset, annoyed, and make choices, decisions, by gifts even, or out of obligation. What will be the value of those gifts? Okay, I got a gift, and it was even expensive. But maybe it's not received so well because somewhere deeper, I don't really care much about the person for whom I'm selecting or bought this gift. Maybe I'm holding something in my heart. I feel I have to give something, but it's not really coming from my heart because something else is sitting in my heart. So we are giving, it's an act of giving, but not necessarily out of love. So I think when we, we are so accustomed to do, if we think a little bit more deeply and look at our intention and our feelings and increase the value of our doing through the being part. Now, love, peace, joy, happiness, kindness, sweetness, respect. It is expressed through different actions, but where is it coming from and how do we generate it? through thinking. We all want to be respected, right? We all want to be treated well. No one likes to be told things or, be on the receiving end of certain attitudes. So from the spiritual approach, the spiritual perspective, we're looking at the human part. The human aspect is the bodily aspect. And the being part is that living energy, is that living, that life force, is that being that is self-aware, conscious of its own existence. And that being is peace, full, loveful, happy, joyful, respectful. We are very much accustomed to receive it, to expect it to receive. We want it, we like it. But to what extent am I in that experience of being that? And then when I am in my self-respect, when I am in a joyful mood, when I am peaceful, to then extend that part of the self through certain actions, the way I look through these eyes, the way I speak, how I speak, my voice, my tone, even the words. But at least definitively the attitude that's behind the words, the feelings that's behind those words. Because someone can tell me beautiful things about me, but maybe I will feel something not right here. So if we, in these moments, in this situation, what is it that we are picking up? The words, that person is using perfect language. You can't find any mistake, but still you don't trust. Yeah, it could be my habit of not trusting someone. But if someone is really speaking from a very genuine, pure, sincere, caring, respectful place within, even if I have the habit not to trust that person, if that person is maybe a second, third, even a fourth time nice, respectful, kind to me, I will trust. I will open up. So we sense that. So one aspect I find is to come, and these are not new things, right? We know many of these aspects, but we are not necessarily aware of them all the time. It's not that I'm paying consciously attention to certain aspects in my life of how I am, the energy that I actually give out. I might be easily surprised, about people's reaction towards me. But no sense of, maybe this has something to do with me. Is it possible? But then on the other hand, to be critical towards the self is also not what we want to be, right? So there has to be that fine line, that line of truth. So one is to more and more understand, remember, and then understand that what I need to be and what I want to do. And if I am peaceful, for example, I will be very happy to share my peace with you. Right? So the thing is, once I am actually in that state of being, I don't need anymore. There's nothing I want. Desires finish. The neediness, the beggar part of us disappears. But and this is like a mindset of fullness. When I come from an inner space of fullness, an inner space of completeness and fullness, from an awareness where I have awareness, I will naturally and easily give, extend, share without conditions, because I have enough. And the beautiful thing is, with these spiritual qualities, right? All these beautiful qualities that we want to experience in life, they are not, you can't measure them, you can't see them. They're manifestation, but the feelings themselves, you can't measure, you can't see them. Attitudes, even the thoughts, you can measure brain waves, but no one really can tell you, what you're thinking and how much love you have, and so on. So the moment I move into a state of being, I am full of that quality. I am it. I experience it. And I naturally share it through my vision, through my words, even the way we walk, body language. That peace can be, or even that upsetness can be very easily seen in our body language. But to come from that inner space of fullness, completeness, I have to, like Joy was saying, I have to know about it, and I have to have that faith. Because how will I come to know that I have it and that I can do it? How will I come to know? Because I won't see it in the mirror.
Go within.
Go within, and
That's where you find who you truly are, the answers that we've been seeking.
right. And even more so, share it. Share it with someone. Not telling others of how much I have or what I have, but share that peace, share that love, share that kindness. So even beyond words, it can be shared. When I share it, when I emerge it and share it, I come to know that I have it. But first I have to have that faith. I have to accept, I have to believe. Because you can't see it, you can't touch it. That one thought, I don't know or I don't have, that one thought can cancel my entire fortune. Because I have, but I think I don't have. I may have, but I think I can't. A, B, C, D. No, that's where we put our conditions up. Because you like this, you told me this, so I'm not going to be nice to you. I'm going to punish you. I'm going to get upset with you. I withdraw my love. Not knowing that I'm cutting off my own lifeline. We want to punish others because they don't give us or don't do the way I want. And so then I get upset, I get angry, I get mad with others. Forcefully, somehow, what I want, demanding. Eventually, we can even become violent, more violent, just in order to get what I think I want, what I think I need. But actually, you have it already within. So it's a very, very interesting aspect. The moment I think I don't have, I cannot, that's it, then I really cannot. Even though I would be able to do it, but that one thought I cannot, it will block me from everything, from emerging the potential that I have. And so this conditioning that we have all experienced, that I need to get something from you. What I need from you, I need from someone. What I need is somewhere outside. Or a better job, or more money goes with a better job. Traveling here, traveling there, having this, having that, having more of this, or being together with that one will make me more happy, will give me some peace, will give me some sense of security. What don't we do in order to feel safe, to feel loved? Sometimes, we can do very, very silly things just to get a little bit, a few drops of love from someone. So the more I come to know about the being part, I'm connecting actually to, so there's our social identity, my role, my part, the roles I'm playing in the context of community, right? Family, community, or even further beyond. There is my physical identity, and we are all very good with that, right? We're very clear about our physical identity. But then there's also a spiritual identity. And that spiritual identity connects to that being part. And now it will get even more interesting. That being, if that is the living energy, life source, now who is that being in this body, in your body? Who is that being? Yes? Huh? The soul?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And who is that soul? So here is where we the Brahma Kumaris understand that the one who is saying I, the one who is that. So when I say I am that living energy, that life force in this. I am the being that is conscious of my own, conscious, aware of my own existence. Yeah. And I, the being, I have many more wonderful qualities. The being can discern between good and bad, right and wrong. The being has the power to choose. The being can choose, make choices, can make decisions. The being is of peace. The being is of love. That is actually more closely to my identity than anything else. And as the being, that conscious living being, I have the ability to think. I have the ability to feel. I have the ability to do, express myself through the human part. So that whole aspect about being good, being happy, being peaceful, loving, caring, compassionate. We speak a lot, about compassion, being compassionate. Compassion is an expression of love. Am I loving? Is the love that pure, clean, pure, unconditional love flowing through my being? And according to the situation, circumstances, there is the need of being compassionate or to care, or maybe I have to forgive, let go. Yeah. But in order to be able to forgive, to be compassionate, to care, is not just an action. It's not just lending my ear to listen, for example. But I have to be true to who I am. And I think the most important aspect to be able to do so is simply to know about it, to know that maybe this physical custom is not the big one who is saying, I am a peaceful soul. I am a happy soul. And I have this wonderful costume to play my part here in this physical world. So to know of my own existence, to know of my inner treasures, the being, the innate qualities. Innate means it can never be erased, cannot lose it. Innate means it's there always, right? So the innate qualities of every being, human being, is the being is clean, pure, peaceful, loveful, joyful, or even blissful. What else? Wise and strong. These are innate qualities of every human being. And that is independent in what kind of body I am and how many possessions I have, or what education I have, or how much or less money I have. Right? And that's, I think, that's where we can find equality. Now, if I use a sense of, if I have a sense of self, of I the being, I, when I use that word I, and that I is influenced, I'm not so 100% sure who I am, right? So then I have something that is of great value for me. I am, for example, I have a lot of money, right? So, and that's what I value so much. So I am someone because I have money, I am someone because I have these beautiful friends. I am someone because I have this great position, right? So when that I is influenced, colored by something from this world, we call it ego. Or body consciousness. That means my identity, the deepest part of the self, the sense of self, is mixed with something that I am actually not. And how do you know if my identity if I have mistaken my true identity actually? Now, if I value money so much, right? Or my cute little dog, and something happens to the dog, something happens to the money, something happens to my job, and it's not there anymore. How will I feel? You understand? I start to shake. It feels like I have lost because I have attached my sense of, I got my sense, or someone to feel better, in order to actually really be able to stay in my peace, stay in my truth, stay in who I am. The more we understand of who we are, and that actually nothing in this physical world can give me or fill me. But I have already everything within me. And like I said, that's true then for everyone, independent of race and education and all these other differences and labels that we that we have created. But in terms of goodness, I think when we start to recognize the self as such, see my value, the value that I, the being, have is connected to what I already carry with me at a very subtle level. And I can share that with everyone, and I hold that same vision towards everyone. We can meet at the level where there is equality. Because if my sense of self, if my I is influenced, colored by something that I am not, something that is false actually, I cannot have true self-respect anymore because there is already ego. And whenever there is ego, it still means I'm still saying I, but I start to apart, and more I feel more or better than someone, and the other moment I feel less. I feel like I'm no one. I have no value. No one loves me. I cannot. I'm going into a victim place. So I think when it comes to, and a lot in terms of doing good, I find is also just giving emotional support, which is also very short-living. It will only help temporarily, but little while after is the same thing again. So the being can actually not really move forward in life. But when we start to recognize that a deeper value that each one of us already have and always had and will always have. But of course, that would also require that I myself not only have that faith, but also I move into that state of being. I be it more. So I need to give being, not just doing. That is I start of who am I. And then I connect to my inner goodness. I emerge it. I live my life from there through the human part. So then I'm coming from that place of fullness, of completeness, where there's contentment if I don't come from within to the outside, then I take from the outside in. And that's where dependency and addiction, dependency is created, and all these dependency patterns have this addictive pattern. So in terms of doing good, creating waves of goodness, if I myself move more into that state of being it, it's not an it, but there is no language for that. It's human consciousness. I'm not an it. Human consciousness is not a she or he. There is no gender. Gender is on the body. So I, the being, I am peaceful and I express myself accordingly. And if I have self-respect, I will respect others too. And if I can bring hope to myself by focusing on the light and use my strength to overcome the darkness, and we can do that, I only have to be willing to do that, then I can do that also for others. So looking at being good, doing good, and not only benefiting myself from being good, and whenever we can visual, you will feel very happy, you will feel good, but then also it will be very beneficial for the other person. You understand? If we are able to really be respectful to people, value who they are, and even at moments where they don't express their own value, when they may be actually throwing something on me that is not so nice. And here then, if I can discern between the being and what that being is doing, then okay, that being is now under some influence and acting in this way. If I take that personal, it's my mistake. It's not that that one is so bad. That being is under some influence and it needs my help. It needs God's help. It needs our support. And not stamping you as you are like this. You understand what I'm trying to say? And we all make mistakes, but that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Because in the big picture, ultimately, each of us, especially the being part, this part, belongs to the Supreme Being. And there was that time where that being was also peaceful and loveful, but has become weak, has been going through adversity maybe, and is under some influence. So you discern between the being and what that being is doing. So my identity is not dependent on what I do. Yes, it will reflect certain things, but there are so many different reasons why we make mistakes at sometimes. So instead of condemning, can I forgive? Can I let go and connect to the light of you and not take things personal?
I wanted to comment on what I've seen as being quite a common view in society with regard to making mistakes. And something that has been relevant for me is that without making mistakes, it's impossible for us to learn. So as a society, we can appreciate the mistakes that we make and embrace them. It doesn't make us any less in any way to have made the mistake. It shows that we are putting forth effort and not being perfect in our human beingness. we are going to many times get it wrong, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It means that it's an opportunity for us to grow and for us to sharpen our wits, so to speak, and see where we can go in a better direction or a more favorable direction.
Yeah, exactly. It's very well said. It's coming back to that same point, no? Like making mistakes. When the baby learns to walk, how many times at the beginning we can't even crawl. And then we learn to walk on 2 feet, and how many times we fall down. We just get up and try it again, no? So that, but we have developed this attitude, for example, of, I need this now. And then all these desires, right? And this depending on it or believing that I really need it. But to make a mistake, we can, if I'm willing to learn, I have to be humble though, and to be open to learn and to think differently. Okay, this avenue didn't work out. So why do I need to judge? I assess, I understand, so let me try a different. Doesn't reflect that I'm good or bad, right? So it's something that I do, that we experiment with, that we learn about, and decisions we make, but then we learn, then we change. So it's an aspect of learning and not necessarily of being a failure or good and bad. So that is also that whole aspect of, I do something, I give you something, and I want to see the result instantly. And I want to get something back. So all of this is very selfish. Our goodness, when there is ego, there is selfishness. When I'm in my true self-respect, I feel secure, I feel safe because I am not selfish. There's no need to be selfish. I don't need to manipulate. I don't need to twist anything. It can be just the same. Yeah. And, to just wind up, we cannot expect that everyone is this way. Everyone is good and lives it as such also. But I have a choice. And I think the more I give that chance to myself and I experiment with it, and I work with myself in a very respectful, loving, compassionate way. Little bit of discipline is also needed. The mind needs a lot of discipline because it keeps going. We can become sources of lights on this earth and source of inspiration for someone else. No? And for someone to feel inspired, that is a huge gift. Someone seeing you strong in a challenging situation, but you maintain the calm. You still care. So others will, yes, they will take a support from you, but they also will get power from that. Or they will feel protected. But then again, it's up to me. Do I not to misuse that? In no way. I mean, this topic, especially the way we addressed it this evening, it may have also, created many questions and comments. But is there anyone who would like to share something? share your feeling or one
Uh,
or another thought?
I noticed something when you were talking about the desires to get something in return, the desires for something to unfold the way that we want it to unfold based upon our own ideals. And what I saw is that in our altruistic selves, all of that is replaced with trust, because trust is the natural state for who we truly are. So I did see that all of that is naturally replaced with a pure and simple trust in the all that is, the I am.
Trust in the being, trust in the goodness. But that doesn't necessarily mean that my expectations will be fulfilled, right? So,
Where even,
Even if I do have an ideal result for something, when we are aligned with our authentic selves, we trust fully, and within that, we acknowledge that no matter how the results unfold, no matter how far removed from what ideal I may have, it's unfolding in an organic and an organic way, in a manner which is perfectly aligned with the overall flow of oneness.
Thank you for sharing. Yes. So if there's no other comment or question, then we can share or close with a short meditation. Shall we do that? So we sit relaxed and allow the weight of the body, let it drop into this chair which you're sitting, and allow the body to relax and to feel light. Bring the focus, the attention briefly to your breathing. And consciously take a breath in and exhale. One more time, I inhale and I exhale. And then I gently bring the attention, the focus, the awareness up to the center of the forehead. And just behind the center of the forehead, I can visualize a tiny sparkling point of light. This is the point of stillness. I'm so much aware of my human form, my humanness, the tasks that I want and need to perform or carry out. But let's put all those thoughts for a few moments aside and bring our attention to a more elevated, higher consciousness, away from the physical. So again, bring the attention to the center of the forehead, and I turn towards that point of stillness, that sparkling light just behind the forehead. I am the light. That light. I am here in the now, in this present moment, fully aware of my own existence, aware of my innate qualities, my inner goodness. I am a being of light, beautiful, radiant, sparkling point of light. I am a peaceful light. I am a pure light, loving, happy, wise, and very strong. I am a being of goodness. Take a breath and breathe into that awareness of being a being of light, of goodness. Feel it. Allow the energy to flow. Go deep into that thought, into that awareness of being this unique, sparkling being of light. I'm full and complete within my own self. There's nothing lacking. This is my original state of being. This is how I am when I started my journey. On my journey through time, innocently, I stepped away. I became influenced. I allowed other forces to dominate me. But now is the time where I reawaken to my inner truth, to my inner power. I realize, I accept from my heart that I am the light. I'm peaceful, I'm sweet, very loving, happy being. This is the truth. And this is now my reference point. I've moved away from it, wanting peace and love from others. But now I strengthen the muscles of my own goodness, emerge it. I remind myself, emerge it, and just be it. And when I am peaceful, free, light inside, I'm powerful. I have stability. And when I use my ability to think, or my ability to discern, my ability to choose, I will ultimately make decisions that are of true benefit for myself, and that they also will serve others, those around me. Living my life moment by moment with this awareness, I create more and more contentment within. Desires subside. A new reality emerges. I am a peaceful being, and I recognize the power that I have. And I'm able to remain peaceful, respectful, caring, compassionate, merciful, as needed, towards myself and everyone else. Om Shanti. So have a good night. Thank you.